Radiant and Resilient is about mindset and faith to break paradigms and overcome challenges in our life. Because when the mind, body, and spirit are aligned, we literally radiate from the inside out. I'm Kay Vasquez. Let's dive in. Since Thanksgiving just passed a couple weeks ago, I realized I wanted to give you a few tips to stay radiant and resilient through the holidays, because every year the holidays can be a stressful time. It used to be a stressful time for me, and when working with clients, I can feel the stress every time we go through the holidays. And so I have learned a few things that can really help you navigate the holidays and keep your nervous system regulated and feeling great, feeling your best. I mean, who doesn't want to feel their best in the holidays and be calm in the chaos? Because it's easy to get sucked into the craziness of the holidays, running around, getting things done, the gifts, the decorations, the parties, right? But we have a choice. We always have a choice in how we show up. And the first step is becoming aware of how you've shown up in the past and the patterns, your thoughts, and how you felt. Because when you are aware, then you can start to make the shifts and the changes. But in the meantime, I want to give you 3 simple things that you can do to stay radiant and resilient. And the first thing is nourish your body with whole nutrient dense foods, because with the holidays comes a lot of processed food that contains a lot of carbs, a lot of processed sugar, a lot of processed ingredients, from cakes, cookies, candies, casseroles. I mean, there's so many foods that come with the holidays that are going to affect how we feel, which therefore is going to diminish our radiance. So not only that, we're just not going to feel our best. We're going to be left bloated, tired, have headaches, and so many other issues that are really, really common during the holidays. So the first thing we want to focus on is eating nutrient whole dense foods. And I get it, because it's easy to be tempted to eat all the holiday foods. A lot of it comes with comfort and memories from our past. But what I really truly believe is that we've created a pattern, a conditioning that it's okay to eat these foods during the holidays, not realizing the negative impact it has. And yes, it's for a short period of time, but that short period of time is impacting our gut health. It is impacting our metabolic health. It's impacting our hormones. It's not really that short period of time, because we're eating foods during the fall, starts in October with the pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks, into Thanksgiving with all the holiday foods from Thanksgiving, then into Christmas, and then all the foods that come with New Year's. So technically, it's like a 4-month stretch of not eating good quality foods. In fact, one of the things that my clients realize when they write out a 7-day food log for me, it opens their eyes to the foods that they're eating in just 1 week that they don't realize that they're consistently eating long term. And so if we think that, oh, I'm just eating this way just for the holidays, well, realize it's like a 4-month time frame. So recognize that you have a choice. You don't have to get the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. If you enjoy that drink, you can make a better, healthier version at home, which is not going to impact your gut and your glucose levels, your metabolism, your hormones. It's not going to create inflammation in your body. Also, if there are casseroles and dishes that you enjoy, it's so easy to find alternatives now that are gluten-free and dairy-free. From my personal experience, when I used to eat the casseroles and all the baked goods and all the holiday foods, I remember feeling so exhausted. And it was several years ago when my husband and I and his side of the family, we all went plant-based. So we actually had a plant-based Thanksgiving. I never in my entire life thought that we would have a completely plant-based Thanksgiving, minus a turkey for grandpa. But what I noticed is that after we had that meal, because it was plant-based, it was whole foods from plants that contain a lot of fiber and healthy fats, and also protein from the plants as well, I noticed that I wasn't tired and exhausted. And it got me thinking. And I realized when I looked at the traditional foods that are served at Thanksgiving and Christmas, yes, there's a turkey, there's a ham, there's some kind of protein, but then it's paired with so many casseroles and sides that are high in carbs. In fact, if you look at the colors at the Thanksgiving table, it's mostly brown, orange, and yellow. I was like, where are the colors? Because the colors in food, like in vegetables and leafy greens, the colors of different foods are different antioxidants. If we're eating a lot of foods that are yellow, brown, and orange, it's probably high in a lot of carbs and processed ingredients. So when we had a plant-based Thanksgiving, we were eating a variety of colorful foods. Again, like I said, it was high in protein, healthy fats, and fiber. So we actually felt really good. We didn't have the bloating. We had more energy afterwards. So one simple thing that you can do is focus on, if you're making a meal and maybe coordinating with your family. Like, I get, like, these are the traditional foods that we eat, but think about how you feel afterwards. If you can get your family on board to find healthier alternatives to the casseroles that they've been eating, or be open to adding in more colorful foods, more salads, more vegetables of different colors. Now that we're going into Christmas, your Christmas Eve dinner or Christmas Day dinner, whatever you're having, focus on it being plant-centric, but high in protein, healthy fats, and fiber. That is the goal. We don't want to have protein with a lot of carbs and sugar on our plate. So I encourage you to start looking for healthy alternatives. A great place to start is looking up Dr. Hyman's Vegan Diet, or go to Dr. Hyman's website. He has some recipes on his blog, which is a great start to start adding in more plant foods and different recipes. Also, another really fun tool that I've been using lately to create recipes is ChatGPT. You'd be amazed what ChatGPT can come up with, and actually helps your search for healthier recipes and alternatives. And I will say, every time I've asked ChatGPT to create a recipe, especially with certain ingredients that I have at home that I've made myself, I've never had a bad recipe from ChatGPT. So that's another tip that you can use. Like, say, I want to make a healthy green bean casserole, for example, or I want to make a healthy sweet potato casserole with these ingredients without the marshmallows, and see what ChatGPT comes up with. And then if it comes up with a recipe and say there's like brown sugar, say substitute for coconut sugar or for honey, you can have ChatGPT tweak and modify the recipe to get ingredients that are going to be better for you. But better yet, just spell it out. Create a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe that's low in sugar or has no sugar, that is plant-centric, or a paleo-vegan-like recipe that Dr. Hyman would make. You can have fun with it, play around with it, give it different prompts and see what recipes it comes up with. So focus on making a meal to be high in protein, healthy fats, and fiber. And not only that, if you're focusing on fiber, lots of vegetables and leafy greens, aim for having dishes that's going to end up having all the colors of the rainbow. So when you look at your Christmas table or next year for Thanksgiving, can you see the different colors of the rainbow? Can you see the red, the orange, the yellow? And yellow not from carbs and starches, but from vegetables like yellow peppers or yellow beet, red, green, blue, purple. Can you start to see the colors of the rainbow on your table? Because if you don't have enough colors, then you want to aim for as many colors as you can, and not just one color. If you can get 2 or 3 of one color, even better. The more colors, the better, because you're getting all those phytonutrients in addition to the protein, healthy fats, and the fiber. So that is the first step. really focus on whole nutrient dense foods because that's going to make you feel really, really good. It's going to give you the energy instead of taking away your energy, because the myth is that tryptophan from turkey makes you sleepy because it converts to melatonin. However, I actually believe that eating processed foods, casseroles, and baked goods, all the holiday foods that are high in sugar, high in carbs, is really what makes us sleepy after we eat it, because we get a quick spike in our glucose and then it drops, it crashes a couple hours later because we get just this surge of glucose in the body from all those foods. And so our body has to bring that glucose back down. And so we'll pump out the insulin to do that. And that's what causes the crash. So I personally believe we need to be focusing more on fiber and healthy fats paired with good quality protein, and we're going to feel our best, because I felt my best. So now when we get together for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, we focus on eating whole nutrient dense foods and I feel my best. I have more energy. I don't have the bloating that I used to have because it's also gluten and dairy free. Gluten and dairy are two foods that create a lot of inflammation and bloating in the gut because the proteins are hard to digest. And that's for a whole nother episode. So if you can make it gluten dairy free, that's a bonus. But if anything, start with protein, fiber, and healthy fats, along with choosing foods that have the colors of the rainbow in it. The second tip is to ask your family for a list of things that they want and things that they need for Christmas. This was super helpful for me because every year I didn't know what to get my family for Christmas because I lived 7 hours away from them. I wasn't with them all the time, so I didn't know what they wanted, what they needed. And I would try to come up with things every year as gifts, but my husband suggested this: ask your family for a list. And it worked. Getting a list for my family was super, super helpful because then I could pick and choose exactly what they wanted or what they needed. And they were happy with that versus getting them something that they probably didn't want or they probably didn't need. And then we're all faking the happiness and the excitement that, we received a gift that we didn't really necessarily want or need. It's something that's so, so simple. Unless you already know what your family and friends want and need. I know there are certain people that just have a gift. They're very thoughtful. They pay attention and tune into little things, or they'll see something and immediately think of the person. And they're really good gift givers. In fact, if you haven't heard of the 5 love languages, I highly recommend check it out because those people are gift givers. That's their primary love language. They love giving gifts and they're so in tune to what people would want or what they think people will appreciate or enjoy. And so that could be one reason why they're a gift giver, but also it could just be their personality. Like it just comes naturally to them. So if that's you, amazing. You don't have to worry about creating a list. But for other people like myself, it's so hard for me to think about what people want. So asking your family for a list is another easy, simple tip to make the holidays less stressful, especially as we're coming up on Christmas and you don't know what to get family, friends, or even your partner, your spouse, your kids, whoever it is. Ask for a list. And then the third tip I want to give you is all about how to stay regulated. This is something that I commonly get asked. How do I stay calm? How do I stay regulated when my family and I get together or when I go to see family? And I get it because when it comes to family coming together, there's a lot of personalities, there's a lot of opinions, a lot of beliefs, perspectives, experiences. And so sometimes getting together with family members, I'm sure you're probably thinking of a few right now that you're dreading on seeing, not looking forward to getting in a conversation with. You're already thinking about how you're going to steer clear of them, or if they bring that thing up in conversation, what are you going to say to shift the conversation to something else, right? I'm sure you're probably thinking about one or two of those family members, and I get it. It can be a really stressful time coming together and just staying regulated. So from my experience in the past, there was a lot of tension within me and my family. I remember one year just really focusing on the outcome that I wanted because there was so much tension and there was so much stress every year for the holidays. I just focused on setting an intention for the outcome that I wanted. And the outcome was that I just wanted everyone to enjoy themselves. I wanted everyone to connect. I wanted everyone to have a good time. And so I just focused on that intention. And not only that, I would visualize us having a good time and connecting. I would feel what it felt like to connect and to have a good time. I focused on the feeling that I wanted during my time with my family and afterwards. And this is something that I've shared with clients before. Focus on the intention, the outcome that you want, and then visualize it and feel into it. That is the first step. So for example, I wanted to feel calm. I wanted to feel peace. I wanted to feel joy and love. And so I focused on that. When I set the intention, I want to experience connection and love and joy. I focused on feeling that. And then it happened. And then not only that, I'm sure you're going to be presented with opportunities that might trigger you or challenge you a bit when you are with family. And in those moments, if you are triggered or you're challenged by something, take a moment to pause and take a couple deep breaths and then send that person a lot of love. If you need to remove yourself from the room, from that person, and take a moment to do that, and it can be really, really powerful because when you can take a moment to pause, to take a couple breaths and that person love, see things from their perspective, then you can respond from a place of love. And that's what I learned to do if I was triggered by a family member. It can be a really, really powerful tool. So I've had clients that were apprehensive about the upcoming family gathering or the upcoming family trip or getting together for the holidays. And when I suggested they set the intention, visualize, and feel into the outcome that they wanted, and then not only that, if they are triggered or challenged, send them love. Their outcome, their experience ended up being so much better than the previous times that they got together with their family. And they knew that it was a process. It wasn't going to change overnight, but the experience was already different than it was previously. So something that simple can start to create a change in the family dynamics. And every time you get together with your family, you continue the process, it's only going to get better and better and better every time. And that's exactly what I experienced with my family. When I set the intention and felt into what I wanted and visualized it, it ended up being a beautiful experience. And it has continued to be a beautiful experience every time I get together with them because I focus on just love and connection and joy. I let go of focusing on things that brought tension and stress. And that's really the key. What are we focusing on? And we have a choice on what we focus on. So it starts with you. It starts with you setting the intention, choosing what you are going to focus on. And if there is an opportunity that presents itself where you're triggered, can you send them love? Can you send that person love? And then take a moment to pause so that way you can respond in love. So those are my tips for the holidays to help you feel radiant and resilient as Christmas is coming up and then New Year's. I have some thoughts to share about New Year's as well. I cannot wait to continue this journey as we step into 2025, continuing to embody our radiant and resilient self.